Bills fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this was likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Shut up, the Bills! It's not a house show! It's not a house show!
Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Call me now, listen. Everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition. They say we tripping. They better get out our way. Top of the table, we flipping. We on a mission. Got an unstoppable team. Continue to follow your dream by any means. Buffalo, get in the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
And a good evening and welcome to another edition of the Coast to Coast podcast. I am your co-host Beyond 716 and is here as always with the one, the only Whittle 2K here for episode 97. Whittle, we are 3 away from the big 100. We'll have to do something special for that episode. But for today, hope you all had a great 4th of July week. Back recharged, back from the East Coast. Hot and humid over there, Whittle. I can't mess with that stuff anymore. But here we are. We'll go over some group rankings, trades, and how they affect us. We'll get into little tidbits about what's going on with our Buffalo Bills here. This is the absolute slowest time of year for me right now between now and training camp, but you can almost feel it. You can almost smell training camp is in the air. We're getting past, the All-Star break for baseball soon, and we're going to start pivoting as camps start opening up. So we are getting, it feels like a long way away, but we are getting much closer. And stay with us here at Coast to Coast. We're going to start really diving in, breaking down some of the position battles that the Bills are going to have, going deeper into our schedule, go into everything really about the Bills as we prepare for what could be an incredible 2025 season. So, Whittle, how you doing tonight?
I'm awesome, man. I'm crunching just going through a little bit of numbers and trying to get some information together, man. That's it. But I'm doing good, man.
There you go. Good.
Work's good. Kids are good. My daughter's getting ready to go on a trip with some of her friends from high school. They're going away for a couple of days. We finally got a move-in date for college. And yeah. So
Is that get emotional for you
there's
as a
that.
dad, Whittle? Is that like that you know it's going to happen, like the reality that's setting in? Like, or do you feel like you'll just really feel it that day when the day's gonna come?
Probably.
Yeah.
My hope is that I'm very, very busy moving things and sweating and probably getting aggravated. So maybe that'll hold back the tears, but eventually they gotta come, man. They didn't, prom, nothing. Graduation, nothing. Like all of these different events and stuff. No real nothing, man. I was,
You'll have tears of sweat,
I did lose it.
Joy. Yeah.
I did lose it at when she got recognized by her cheer team. That was
awesome.
that was as one of the graduating seniors. So it's got a pretty good resume, man. I can't take all of the credit, but shout out to her mom, but
Yeah.
and the rest of the village that
Hey,
helped us raise her, man. Thank you guys,
hey,
and
hey, listen, you did a great
just a
job,
proud
Whittle.
pop, just a proud papa, man. That's all, proud
Absolutely.
papa right now.
That's what I like to hear, Whittle. And that's a
Yeah.
reflection of you and your family. So I love those kind of stories. We need more of that in the world today. So good to
She's a
hear. And,
Bills fan too, which is also,
and it makes her even smarter that, listen,
right, right.
we got to convert the whole family to that. So, but hey, we are here and I'm back from Jersey. And Whittle, unfortunately, I'm sorry we couldn't link up. It was one of those trips that was a blur. It's just like
Yeah.
one thing after another. We were Jersey City. They blocked off all of JC for 4th of July. It's crazy down there. Like you can't even get down there.
Yeah, I believe it.
Oh, it's nuts. And so wedding was great, very intoxicated, and now I'm back home. And no flight cancellations from Newark. That was actually in itself a miracle. So miracles do happen, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. But we're back from vacation and we have I want to say hello to Dog out there. Always one of our favorites.
What up,
Always good to
dog?
see you here. Absolutely. And our buddy here, Kevin Vasari. What do we got going on here? McDermott today? So, Whittle,
Oh man,
you-
Kevin,
you-
I wasn't even going to do it, but listen, I invited everybody who thinks that they have a good reason to fire McDermott outside of the 13 seconds game. I invited every single one of them to come on the pod and we'll discuss it. And no takers, man. I mean, people wanted to argue with me on the timeline for 2 days straight, but nobody wanted to come up here, present their facts, and present their information, and talk about it. So here we are. Sorry. Don't be scared,
yep,
guys. Don't be scared. Just you know, it's okay.
yep,
You come on the show. I'll be nice.
yep.
Not, but I'll be
Here's
nice.
here here's my thought, Whittle. So it's 9:15 p.m. What Twitter account is posted about firing McDermott today? So, hey, right? What's, who else is going to come out with some wild take? I always feel like July, right around now, is like wild take time. This is when the crazies come out. Everybody's winning 12 games, right? Your quarterback's overrated. We're coming for you. We got to get rid of the coach. And listen, we're not sitting here saying McDermott is free from any kind of criticism. You and I have had our moments where we I've critiqued McDermott at times, and we've also given him flowers when he's deserved it, which is most of the time, right? I mean, his resume speaks for itself. He's been excellent. We've talked about it at nauseum, Whittle, that this guy's, I mean, they have 4 losses to the Chiefs, 3 of them laser close. The Chiefs are a dynasty. They got the greatest winning percentage in sports since 2019. It's not like, again, we're not losing to upstart 9 and 17s in the playoffs. We're not missing the playoffs at 7 and 10 with a relatively healthy roster. We're not having chaos in the organization. They're a
Right.
consistent top contender, really since 2020. I know we haven't gotten through yet, and listen, we want it bad. We're so close we could feel it. Like we could almost taste the Super Bowl, right? And I understand the frustration. I get it, but again, the other thing is to Whittle. The flip side is who are you getting in here? What's your solution for anybody that says they want to get rid of McDermott? Who are you bringing in? First time coach, retread? Like, what do you have in mind? Sean McVay's not knocking down our door right now to come in as an example. There's not going to the top coaches aren't available. So that's the
Right.
flip side of my argument with that.
No, that 100%, man. I if McDermott were to be fired, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't be fired. I don't think he. I'm not saying that firing Sean McDermott is going to be the end of the Bills' window. I'm not saying that. I don't know what
Mhm.
firing Sean McDermott is going to do. If you don't bring in the right coach, the defense could get a lot worse. Um, I think if you brought in the right coach, maybe the team maybe the team is better.
Mhm.
But I know for certain, based on the rosters, when you compare the rosters that we put out there on defense to the other contenders, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Ravens. the Bengals, to a lesser extent, the Steelers. When
Mm-hmm.
you compare what we have on defense to what those teams send out on defense, it it's not a comparison. Like we probably have the least amount of talent, and that's not a knock on our guys. It's just the fact of the matter is that we are picking 20. We are picking in the 20s
Mm-hmm.
every year, and we've invested a lot of assets into the offensive line, the running back room, the quarterback position, and pass catchers. We have done a lot. We have invested a lot in pass catchers. Yes, they made a
Mm-hmm.
big splash move to pay Von Miller to come out and be in Buffalo, and he did, and he was good for the first. He was good up until he got hurt. Once he got hurt, that was it. So what do you want me? What can you do about that? The man got hurt. Um, and the pass rush wasn't the same after that. So again, I am not advocating for Sean McDermott to keep his job forever. I'm saying if you
Mm-hmm.
want McDermott fired, give me a reason outside of the 13-second game.
Yep.
And then and we'll go from there. But so far, no takers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've asked
No.
other podcasters, I've asked a lot of people, whenever you ready, let's lock in. No takers. So I don't
Yep.
know, bro. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know,
mean, listen,
man.
and sometimes great coaches move on, right? We did see Andy Reid move on from Philly, but those were after 4 and 12 years and 6 and 10 years. I mean, the Eagles were definitely dipping at that point, but even still, Andy Reid was still a great coach. He had tremendous success. Those things are going to happen from time to time. I mean, to me, the only way this happens with McDermott this year is if we're relatively healthy and we finish like 9-8 and miss the playoffs, and there's chaos in the organization. Like, I can't see a situation. And again, who else? And unless somebody is a top-notch option is available that we don't know about, and maybe gets Pagula to bite on it. That, but again, these are unknowns that we don't know. So that's the thing. It's like it's almost like the naysayers are trying to be right before actually being right. If that makes sense, they want to say, "Oh, look what I said 2 years ago." That Sean, and the odds are high that he's going to get fired. Whittle, I mean, coaches get fired all the time, right? So sooner or later, they're going to be right on what they're saying, unless he wins the Super Bowl. Then with the Super Bowl, he could just do whatever he wants here. So give a shout out to Tina there. And I always love her comment. It makes me feel younger in this very old self of mine. So thank you, Tina, for that.
She's very sweet outside of basketball season.
Hey,
She
listen,
is my heart
watch it,
outside
Whittle.
of basketball season. Yeah. Basketball season, no. But
Uh,
outside of that, she's the best.
yeah. She's got it down for basketball, especially with the Knicks. So we're good. But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, again, are there times that McDermott's defense has frustrated me in the playoffs in a big spot? Yes. Right. I think that's a fair critique of McDermott's legacy that he has to live with. Right. We've put up 29 points last year as an example. He gave up 32. We've had, our defenses have not come up with big stops when they've needed to for a variety of reasons, right? Well, some of it's been scheme, some of it's been losing guys at critical moments, as you and I both know. And some of it, too, is just the fact that Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and he makes huge plays when it matters. So it's a combination of all the three things. So I'm going to give a shout out to my guy, Jets Commute. We all know who that is, especially if he says, "Let's go Knicks." So what's up, Petey? Always great to see you here, brother. Your
What's up,
buddy's
Petey?
always good here, Petey. So good to see you. So yeah, so that's really where I'm at with McDermott. It's one of those things. It's just ridiculous talk right now. It's not going to happen. There's nothing indicating that it will. Let's revisit this at the end. Let's revisit this in February, March. Let's not talk about it now. That's where I'm at. It's kind of ridiculous. We're coming off a
The,
great
the
off
only
season,
way
right?
the only way Sean McDermott gets fired is if he gets pulled over by state troopers or police and they
Mhm.
find a tied up hooker in his trunk and cocaine all over the floor. Like that. That's it.
What?
It
Oh
would
man.
have to be something so egregious that there's
Mhm.
no way to say, like, there's no way to keep him. So has to be something like that. It's not going to be anything like that. So he's not going anywhere. And I mean,
Yep.
you
Absolutely.
could do a lot worse than Sean McDermott. You could have um you could have uh Mike McDaniel as your head coach, right?
Yep. Absolutely. But by
Or
the
you could
way,
have Or you could have who was the guy that was coaching the Raiders that said what did he say? Like we weren't ready for I can't remember what he said. He said something crazy on air, like live, and it was just like, bro, you can't say that.
yeah, no,
Yeah, so he's great.
yeah, he's but do you feel McDermott and Bean are tied at the hip here? Like, for example, if
Yeah.
there was a
And nobody
situation
ever mentions that. That's
yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. Nobody ever says fire McDermott and Bean. They just say McDermott.
Hmm.
But McDermott's working with the players that Bean gets them.
Hmm.
And ultimately, we like this is where you lose me, right? You can't tell me that McDermott is doing Bean's job and telling Bean what players to pick, but at the same time, so you want to give him all of the blame for the players not working out and none to Bean. But then when McDermott's not the defensive coordinator and the defense fails, you give it all to you don't give it to the defensive coordinator, you give it to coach. Or when the offense fails, like it did the last 2 years, like everybody was saying after 13 seconds, if we're in a one score game and we have the ball with Josh Allen, I feel great. I think we can win that. We're gonna win that game. That was the case last 2 years. We didn't win. We didn't win.
Hmm. Yep.
Nobody's saying get rid of Joe Brady. Nobody's saying get rid of Josh Allen.
Yep. And Whittle, you and I both know in our heart of hearts, we analyze the AFC title game in nauseum. The offense had a play in that loss too. If I think these McDermott haters are making it seem like we were cooking like we were in 2021 in that game. We were not cooking in that game offensively like we were in
No.
2021. We had a very slow start, and the very slow start to that game set the tone for what happened late in that game, right? Josh Allen was nervous. He was throwing high. He was, Josh had a C plus performance when we needed a B plus or better. It's just that simple. And it's okay to say that. I love Josh as much as anybody, right? But he deserves the Greek critique. He's in that position. That's comes with the territory. And we can't be afraid to say, hey, Josh, you just played a pretty good game. You weren't great. 34 attempts for 230 something yards is not a great game. I'm sorry. It's just
And
not.
same thing for the coach, right? Same thing for the
Hmm.
coach. Like when the coach makes a bad call, he should be criticized for 100%.
Hmm.
But when the player makes a bad play, I don't care that it's Josh out.
Hmm.
There were two plays that I can point to that that potentially changed the outcome of that game. First
Hmm.
quarter, first drive, Mac Hollins is wide open down the boundary on in the whole and Josh all he has to do is hit the whole shot in the cover two, the spot between the safety coming over and over top the
Hmm.
trailing corner.
Hmm.
If Josh hits that throw, Max running full speed, he's scoring. Anybody that doesn't believe it, we can pull it up. We've done it before on
Hmm.
NFL Pro. We can
Yep.
pull the play up and we can watch it. And you
Hmm.
can see safety's a little late. If Josh puts that ball a little out in front of him where he can run under it, catch it, and go, he's probably going to score.
Hmm.
Same situation. Well, not same situation, but later on in the game, I want to say it was second quarter. Um, Curtis Samuel runs a drag route. Clearly, defensive error, right?
Hmm.
Somebody missed their assignment or got fouled up with the communication. Curtis Samuels runs a drag route directly across Josh Allen's face, wide open. He catches that ball. Josh puts that ball on his numbers, and he turns up the field. He gets 50 yards
Yep.
easily. He might score.
Hmm.
Josh misses the throw. He misses the throw. It's like a 5 yard throw too.
Hmm.
Misses the throw. I don't
Yeah.
hear anything else about that when it's time to start analyzing why the Bills lost. It's
Yeah.
fire the coach
Yep.
because the
Yeah.
defense didn't hold them to 16 points. It's the
Hmm.
best team in the conference. Been the best team for the last 5 years, but
Hmm.
I digress.
Absolutely. But I would say to everybody out there, just try to take it with a grain of salt. There's just going to be that. I mean, we're under the microscope now. We've talked about this before. We've been knocking on the door for quite a few years now. And, the national media is going to start signaling us out. Okay, we haven't made Super Bowl. I mean, even the Bengals in that one run they had, so they've been getting off easier than we have because they just made it in. So it's just one of those things that's going to happen, and we're going to be an easy target. So just tune it out. We know what the Bills are trying to build here. We know what they're capable of this year. So I'm not going to pay that much attention to what they're saying. Didn't we find that out last year when everybody had us 9-8 and out of the playoffs and regressing and without Diggs and everybody else, we're out, our windows closed, and remember all that? How did that work out? So why are we worried about it this year? So I wouldn't worry about all those comments too much.
Brother, they do it every year, man. They do it every
Hmm.
year.
That comes with
I
being
mean,
one of
for
the
the
best
last few
organizations.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm used to
Absolutely.
it at this point.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Um, so at this
So
point now, let's take care of these bills and then we can get into the
sound good.
coaches. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
All right, we're back. All right. So I wanted to dive a little deeper into uh some of the coaching acquisitions that we made.
Mhm.
Um and why it's important. So and perfect segue into the conversation we've been having all day about the coaching and the defense. One of the major reasons why this defense has been underperforming is because the lack of timely sacks, the lack of quarterback pressure, the lack of you know getting to the quarterback before and allowing the rest of those guys to drop back in coverage. We've we've
Mhm.
we've had inconsistent performances from our guys up front. And some of that is due to injury, obviously, but some of that's due to underperformance of the players. I mean, maybe we can say the coaching hasn't been great. Because Eric Washington was here for a very long time.
Mhm.
Very few defensive linemen developed under him. Funny how the year he leaves, AJ Epinesa runs off 3 straight seasons of six or more sacks, right?
Mhm.
Uh, Rousseau's numbers shoot up in sacks. And I think the year he left was the year that, if I'm not mistaken, Ed Oliver had like his career year, and then he got the extension after that. Um, so we brought in Ryan Nielsen. Ryan Nielsen, former college defensive lineman, I believe. He's bounced around all over the place between college and the NFL. Um,
Mhm.
but I wanna focus on his stint in New Orleans. He
Mhm.
got there in 2017, and his claim to fame is the defensive line. Uh,
Mhm.
so he gets there in 2017. In 2017, they did not have a great year. The defense was not, what it needed to be. Not a lot of sacks, not a lot of sack production. But after that, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, and then his final year 23. Actually 22 is his final year. Those years, those 4 years, the Saints finished top 10 every single year in sack percentage. 2019 they were third in sacks. 2022 they were fifth in sacks. Cam Jordan, who we all know, Cameron Jordan is a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer, 100%.
Yep.
The man had double-digit sacks every single year, outside of like one. I think 2021 he didn't have double-digit sacks at 8.5. But that was a year Trey Anderson had 13.5. So, you know, Trey Anderson, the guy for the Bengals who led the NFL the last 2 years in sacks, where did he learn? He learned in New Orleans under Ryan Nielsen. Sheldon Rankins, multiple years of 7 and 8 sacks at defensive tackle, which is that's like borderline all pro. You know what I'm saying? Like at 8 sacks as a defensive tackle, you're starting to get some all pro looks. Definitely, you should make the Pro Bowl, but you're getting all pro looks. So, you know, um, I look at them bringing him in, and somebody that's another like misconception is that Sean McDermott doesn't want to hire anybody who has a strong voice. Like Ryan Nielsen is a strong voice. Like, I mean, they 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 don't they don't they don't just bring in push around coaches. Like this is not one of those guys. He's a specialty. There is a issue, and the Bills are about going about they're trying to figure out ways to fix it. The defensive line has struggled. We're not getting enough out of Rousseau. We're not getting enough out of Ed Oliver. Daquan Jones is about to retire. We have 3 new defensive linemen. Let's bring in a defensive line coach, and let's see if we can get Landon Jackson and TJ Sanders and the young guy we hired last year. I mean, we drafted last year in at defensive tackle, Dwayne Carter, who, by the way, just got married I think got married over the weekend. Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Mr. and Mrs. Carter. Hopefully, he'll get another ring. Hopefully, he'll get another ring this year. That would be awesome to go with the wedding ring he just got. So, but back on track, I with 4 guys, 5 if you count Solomon, right? And we got to start doing that. Like we got to start counting. With 5 young pass rushers, and then like Rousseau's still like 24 years old. He's still young himself. With those guys, like you get a guy in here who can coach them up. You want them at the best. You want them at the best that they can be. So you bring in a Ryan Nielsen. You pay him, whatever his fee is for the year to come in and help fix the problem. Now, we don't have any more, like, there's no more runway for Sean McDermott on this, right? We can look at every single year. 2021, Trey White got hurt. 2022, Von Miller got hurt. 2023, everybody was hurt, just about. And then 2024, you go into that game, no Benford, no Rap, and Milano still kind of working his way back from his issues. And then Greg had a foot injury that he played with all year last year. So, I mean, and then even with these last 2 years, like I don't care what anybody says, bro. The offense had the football. The offense had the football in both years. Like I'm not going to continue to I'm not going to continue to force the weight of these last 2 years playoff losses on the defense. When the defense got stops, when it mattered, gave the ball back to the offense, and the offense couldn't score. That I can't do. So
that's right.
Now that we got that out of the way, 2023 and 2024, a lot of injuries. They still did what they needed to do to get the ball into the hands of the quarterback, into the hands of the offense to win the game, and they did. So now it becomes a situation where the defense has to hold and give the offense more opportunity to score. The other side gets paid too. The defense gets paid, so no problem. Let us put together a defense which will allow the Bills to get off the field more than just once or twice in a game against Kansas City and get the offense more opportunities to put points on the board. Let's do that. So you bring in Ryan Nielsen, you draft 3 guys, you draft basically 5 guys within a 2-year span on the defensive line. Um, and you we'll see. You hope for the best, but you have the guys now. Ogunjobi will be back. Hoyt will be back. You still have Epinesa this year. You got and you got Daquan this year, and you got Russo. It's no excuse. There are enough bodies in that room to get it done.
Absolutely. And, Ryan Nielsen was also a co-defensive coordinator. He was also an assistant head coach with the Saints. So he's done some other roles there too. So this guy with a lot of experience, Whittle, right? That I think that could also be a big help for a guy like Babbage, who's still growing into that role.
Yep.
And you mentioned something interesting about, speaking of Babbage, and you said Nielsen, his first year didn't have a great impact, but then you start seeing it in year 2. And maybe the same thing will happen with Babbage and bringing in a guy like a Nielsen to kind of back him up, I think is an excellent move. And I'm all for that kind of experience being with Bobby Babbage, even though McDermott still calls the plays in that sense, but still Bobby's going to need that backing to kind of get him, just to get the whole unit playing at a higher level.
And I know it's easy, man. Like when the team loses, I know it's easy to say just get rid of the coach. I know it's easy to say just get rid of this player, but sometimes let's turn the emotion off. Sometimes let's turn the emotion off. Let's sit back, decompress, and then look at these situations from a logical standpoint. If you get rid of the coach and you bring in a coach who's not as good defensively, what happens if the offense gets slightly better, but the defense gets way worse? Now you're the Bengals. You're putting up a ton of points and you don't get stops and you give up scores when you don't need to give up scores. You can't close out a game. Your defense can't get off the field, can't get you the stops when you need it. He missed the playoffs. Then what? What happens? This is the real thing. This is the real this is a real doozy for a lot of these people. What happens if McDermott does work? What happens if he does win? What happens if this year the defensive line coach comes in and turns these young guys into absolute demons? And we are top 3 in sacks. We roll through the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl, and win. We go through Kansas City. We beat whoever in the Super Bowl and win. All of this stuff y'all been saying about McDermott for the last since 2021. So for the last 4 seasons, like everything y'all said in 2022, everything you said in 2023, everything you said in 2024, everything you're saying all throughout this season that you're going to say, what happens then? Is there going to be a public apology from a lot of these people?
No.
They're just gonna act like it wasn't them and celebrate and say, McDermott's a hell of a coach. That's what they're gonna say.
Yep.
Oh, and real quick, shout out to my god sister Amanda and her new husband. They got married this weekend. Shout out to y'all.
Oh, all right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I know my godfather. I think my godfather's watching. So,
Hey, you got to get that in, Will. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Show love, man. Show love to the family always.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, but yeah, bro. I mean, that's that's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
get it.
absolutely. Well, listen, it's again, it's just the frustration. That's all. And it's something to talk about in the off season. It's something to get clicks, something to get attention. That's part of it too. So I just skim over it now. I'm like, okay, yeah, again, let's talk about it in February, March. If we have a disaster for season, then we can have a discussion. Again, assuming our core is pretty much intact injury wise, no major issues, knock on wood, then yes, then we can have a real conversation about Sean McDermott. But until then, no, we're razor close. Sports is close. Sports are a game of inches. I mean, it's an old cliche, but it's really, really true. I mean, one of these years we may just get that. Maybe that bounce goes our way, Whittle. Maybe that fumble goes our way against the Chiefs. Maybe we get that call. It's not much that would have flipped that game. So again, I just didn't see any egregious mistakes by McDermott in the AFC title game to warrant this type of. In fact, I thought you know, and also, can we also talk about how McDermott did an excellent job against an obviously more talented Ravens team to beat the Ravens in the playoffs at home? How come he doesn't get any flowers for that, Whittle? Out
Yeah,
coaching
it
John
doesn't give
Harbaugh
me
in some
flowers, but
cases? Yeah.
you know why? Because we beat the
Mhm.
Ravens before. That's
Yep.
why.
Yeah. Yes. That's it. Nobody
And
talks about it though.
I I just feel like it's a lazy. I just feel like it's a lazy thing to do to just say we lost. Let's blame the
Hmm.
coach. When you like, if you look at so the people that say blame the coach are also some of these people are also some of the people that said I can't believe we got DeMar Hamlin starting. He's terrible. Why didn't we go out and get another corner? Why didn't we go out and do this? Rasul Douglas looks bad.
Hmm.
You know,
We all loved the Rasul Douglas move when it happened. I did.
you love it. Then he hurt
Yeah.
his knee, had
Yep.
surgery. I think he had surgery to repair it. Came back
Yeah.
this year and you know
Wasn't
he
quite the
wasn't
same.
great.
No.
I mean, I listen. I think he needs to move to safety, and I think he plays another 4 years at a really high level. But you know,
Yep.
that's a decision he has to make. But
Yeah.
yeah, bro. I mean, it's lazy, guys. Like you look at a team starting 11 on defense at the beginning of the season, you didn't think they were talented. You didn't think they had enough talent. So then they go to play the best team in the conference for the last 3, 4 years, 4 or 5 years easily in the Kansas City Chiefs. And they look like they're not as talented as the Kansas City Chiefs. And then you get mad at the coach.
Hmm.
Huh? You knew what this was before the game started. You knew
Hmm.
they weren't good enough. But the fact is, and we never look at it this way. We know DeMar Hamlin was taken in the 6th round. We know he wasn't highly sought after in free agency. We know Dane Jackson was a 7th round draft pick. We know he went to Carolina and couldn't stay on the field, not because of injury, because of poor play. We know Jamarcus Ingram was undrafted. We know Cam Lewis was undrafted, and they went to the what was this, the MEAC Buffalo? They went to Buffalo University to play.
Hmm.
We know Levi Wallace ran like a 4.7 and was undrafted. We know this. We know AJ Klein was like 97 years old when he played for us. We know.
We said the Key
We know
West for
Poyer
crying out
wasn't a
loud.
great athlete when we got him from
Mhm.
Cleveland. He wasn't a great athlete. He was smart and coachable, and he got coached up. And we know over the last 2 years, there has been a steady decline in his athleticism. We
98.
know it, right? We
Yep.
know Daquan Jones hasn't been the same since the pec injury. We know. We know Milano's working his way back. We know Trey White just came off of another terrible lower body injury. We know it was. I think it was the
Mhm.
Achilles.
Yep.
We know all of these things.
Hmm.
Yet we're 3 points. We are a possession away from beating the best team in football over the last 5 years,
Hmm.
multiple times.
Yeah. It's also partly
Why?
credit to the Chiefs. I mean, that's as much as I hate to say it. I mean, we got to look at we're going up against all-time greats on that side. Mahomes, Reed, Spagnolo, Chris Jones, right? I still think Chris Jones is maybe the actual X factor as to why they're in the Super Bowls and we haven't been. The more you think about it,
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the quarterback play of Josh and Mahomes, I think they're pretty close, right? Other factors, I think McDermott and Reed, the coaching wasn't that much of a difference, right? But Chris Jones is that
right.
one guy that they have that, no offense to our guys on our D line, we just don't have a Chris Jones, a guy like that. That's what I'm hoping from all these picks that the Bills have made recently. Whittle, we just need one of these guys to hit like that. It'll change
I
everything
need
for this
two.
team next time. Two would be
I
great,
need
but
two.
even one would be
Yeah.
great, right? Even just imagine
I
if
need
Deion
Landon
Walker
Jackson to
becomes
make it. I need Landon Jackson to make it hard to take him off the field. And I
yes,
need Deion
yes,
Walker to. I need Deion Walker to demand. Like I need his play to demand
hmm
snap. I know T.J. Sanders. If there's
hmm
one rookie I am not worried about, is T.J. Sanders.
yeah.
Not worried about him.
Feel like he's
He's
plug and
he's
play
bigger.
right away.
He's a little bit bigger than Ed. Similar type of player. I think he's more violent than Ed. I don't think he's as athletic, but I think he's more
Hmm.
violent than Ed. And he listens to NBA YoungBoy before games. Like the
Hmm.
stuff that he listens to ahead of time tells me enough. Like he's the guy you cross the street when you see, and it's
Yep.
dark. That's the one you want in the trench. Like I want him in the trenches because I know he's listening to something demonic before the game, and he's gonna display that on the field. I can't wait.
Listen, let's be honest, Middle. You've talked about this a lot. I think we've needed some more violence on this roster. I think we got it this offseason. I think that you know what I'm trying to say. I understand the Bills love their character, guys with high character, the leaders, captains and things like that. That's all important. I need a little nastiness mixed in there. We need a little bit more across the board. So, and we have that on both
I think
lines
we
now.
got it.
So,
I'm gonna be honest,
yeah,
bro. Like
yeah,
between T.J. Sanders and Deion Walker, I think those two guys are nasty players. I think they're
yes,
nasty guys. I think they're mean. I
hmm
really do. Like I think Deion looks like a kid, like facially, he looks like a child. He does. He looks
hmm
like a little kid.
he does.
Um, but I've watched a good amount of him at Kentucky. He's a nasty guy. He's a nasty
Hmm.
guy.
Oh
He
yeah,
finishes people. He goes through you, puts you in the dirt, and then he keeps going. He's a nasty guy. I like him.
yep.
I mean, obviously. Real quick, there is a clip of Keon Coleman doing some like footwork, route work, or whatever.
Hmm.
Did you see it?
I have not seen it, but I heard about it, but I didn't really get to watch it.
What did you hear about it?
I heard it was good, but again, I did when I'm talking about I heard about it, Whittle. I read about it very quickly somewhere, and
Okay.
I just glanced over it. So I got to be honest with you, I can't give you a detailed answer on this one.
Okay,
That's
no problem.
vacation mode, ladies and gentlemen.
So Cam Newton did Cam Newton has a podcast. He did a pod where he was talking about these receivers and tight ends and pass catchers out here on these doing this field work where they're running a lot of fake routes. He's like, and then they going into their break.
Hmm.
And Cam Newton, I watched it and I had to like I was watching while I was doing something else. I had to stop and like actually focus in on what he was talking about. He was so right. Bro, you are not using that stuff on the football field, bro. Come
Hmm.
on, man. I'm sorry. I watched that video. I love Keon to death.
Yeah.
I think Keon's gonna fit right. I think he fits right in on this team. I think he's gonna have a really good year. Um,
Yep.
I'm saying he's gonna get, if not over close to 800 yards. I'm saying 750 or better, and I'm
Ooh,
saying
okay.
north of 7 or no, north of 8. 8 or more touchdowns. I think Keon's going to have a solid year for us. That video was, I wasn't impressed.
No?
Like I watched
Oh,
that and I
okay.
was just like, dude, this is not even your like. I can't see you
I gotta
winning
see this.
on the
Hmm.
football field like that. I can't see
Okay.
it. Just run your route and use your size to get past people
So what
or
is his
get
goal there?
position and
What is his
make the
goal
play.
in that video? Is it more for attention? Is it more just messing around?
No, no. I
Is it
think I think he's just working on. I think it's good that these guys are working on
hmm
their footwork, like on stopping, uh, basically stopping and changing directions, um, as crisp as possible. The problem is like there's so many extra steps when he changes direction, it just doesn't look good. Now,
mm,
I compare that to what I watched when Elijah Moore put a video out. And Elijah Moore's video is very clean. Very clean.
gotcha.
Very, very
Oh,
clean.
that was
So
that I saw the Elijah Moore video.
yeah.
That got me hyped up. That for sure.
Elijah Moore's out there working, folks. But I just thought it was very clean. I don't want to see any more videos like that from from Keon Coleman because I don't. I mean, I know they're out there, and I know it's a good thing because the best place to make mistakes is in practice. So,
Hmm.
what I worry about is like when you're working with a trainer that you pay or is being paid to train you.
Hmm.
Are they giving you the right? Are they giving you the right amount of criticism?
Yeah.
You know, like don't just because you get the check, dog. Don't tell me, yeah, that's it. No, stop me and say, bro, you look like you look terrible right now.
Yeah.
You way too many extra steps. You flailing your arms. That's not no. That's not it.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know. But I listen, man. I'm a casual, bro. I'm wrong. Well, was it 98
You
percent of the time?
you're wrong. Well,
97,
we got it to 97, but you say 98, but I
97.
have you
All
at
right.
97. Yeah. Leave it at
I'm still at
3%.
I'm still at 97.
Maybe we'll
All
bring
right.
it down to 96. We'll see.
I
We'll
might
make it
be at
back.
no, I might be at 98 because I did say the Celtics were going to win the championship. I did say they were going
No.
back to back. So
Couldn't even get past the Knicks. I mean, little. I mean, come on.
I needed
Something
us
I
to get
could,
past the Knicks
something
for
that I
sure.
could wear. I could wear on my sleeve, at least for a
Yeah.
year or two. I could enjoy it. I gotta enjoy the small wins when I can get them. Little with that
The
pathetic
window is
franchise
very small. It's
that's
very
tortured
that
me
window's
for 50
small though.
years. Yeah, it
That
is.
window's small. I want you to know that
Hey, Jordan
because we're
Clarkson's
gonna
the
get.
answer, Whittle. Come on now.
Listen,
That's not
listen, listen. Beyond, I have a secret to tell you, and I'm sorry that all these other people are gonna hear it as well. Okay,
okay.
you ready?
Hmm.
The Celtics are getting Damian Lillard.
Oh boy.
We're gonna get Damian Lillard,
You
and
think they're bringing
everybody
him in?
who you said what?
When when's he going to be available? Is he
He's
coming
not.
up
I don't think
heavy?
he's gonna be available anytime soon, bro. I think if they get him, I think him and Tatum will come back probably like around February, March,
Hmm.
somewhere around there. Yeah,
It'll be interesting. That's for sure. I mean, it's not a bad place to go. They can work
I
together on
think
it.
we're gonna get him. I really think we're gonna get him. Traded Drew Holiday away. There's a spot right there, Dave. Come on
Yeah,
over.
he
You know, you
could.
don't even got to bring the ball up all the time. We can make Derek White bring it up. Jason Tatum
Okay.
can bring it up when he gets back. You know, you could really work off ball game if you know you want to just be a scorer. You could do that right here in Boston.
Hmm.
We need a closer. We need another closer next to Tatum. That'd be perfect. You know,
Yeah.
we could really run a nice hot pick and roll with Tatum and Dame. That'd be really, really electric. You know,
Hmm.
but back
Oh
to
yeah.
football.
I mean, Jordan Clarkson doesn't scare you, Whittle? I mean,
No.
the missing piece for the Knicks. Ah, I was hoping so.
Jordan Clarkson, he don't want to do nothing but wear fancy clothes and fight people. I ain't worried about it.
Okay.
He's been in the
Yeah,
most almost fights in the NBA in like the last
this is true.
4 years.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. But we'll couple more months for that
Yeah.
to wait. So, but anyway,
Right
we
around the
got.
corner, though. Training camp. Right
Can
around
you
the
believe
corner,
it?
man.
Yep. And
Yes,
listen,
I
we're gonna
can.
get training camp. I mean, can you believe what? How many more days till Bill's training camp? I mean,
Let's see.
July 23rd. So
Boom.
exactly, wow,
16
2 weeks from
days? Oh,
tonight.
14 days. Yeah, 14
So
days.
in 2 weeks, we have episode 99 here on Do Champions. We will be talking about the kicking off of Buffalo Bills training camp, folks. So one more week next week. We'll get some other things to set you up for it, and then we'll start diving into training camp news. I can't wait, Whittle. So it's
Oh, yeah.
really, really around the corner.
So training camp, we got Hard Knocks.
Yep.
That's gonna be a big deal. Um, James Cook, extension talk,
Yep.
wide receiver battles, uh,
Corner battles. We're gonna have corner. We're gonna have a lot of
cornerback two
cornerback
battle. Yep,
two. Yep.
and somebody is not making his team at corner or safety. Well, probably both.
Mhm.
Cam Lewis, Jamarcus Ingram, Covington, Forrest, and Hamlin. They all, Hancock and Strong are draft picks. They most likely will make Hancock for sure is going to make the team. Strong, I don't know, but I think he has
Yeah.
a good shot. So Dane Jackson on down, Dane, Jamarcus, Cam, Covington, all of these guys. Also, there's a punter battle as well. There's a punter
Yep.
battle. Punter battle next week. We'll talk about the new special teams coordinator because
Yes.
they got a new guy. So we'll talk about the new special teams coordinator next week. And
Yep.
yeah, that's all I got, man. 10 o'clock right
Yeah.
here. We started late, but we're gonna end on time.
Yep, we're going to end a little bit on time. Just a couple little tidbits before we go. Congrats to James Cook for making the top 100 list for the NFL. I thought
Yeah.
that was good to see. Big achievement for his career was great to see that. So should give us, I believe, we'll probably have 4 players on that top 100. Oh, by the way, so quick dog, he put by right, and I asked him who. All the ones whittled in. So Dog's
Wow.
ready to say goodbye to all of them at this point. So I just wanted to put that up there for him. So congrats to James Cook. Um, I read a wild trade rumor on Yahoo about trading Dawson Knox to New Orleans for Tyrann Mathieu. Did you hear about that one?
Why would we do that?
I don't know. I listen. I understand. Tyrann Mathieu would be an interesting addition to a win now team, but Dawson Knox. I
Yeah, no.
can't see that at all. No, doesn't make any sense. So we'll just leave that alone. Um, so again, we got training camp coming up. Josh listed his house in California for $8.5 million. If anybody's in the market, go buy yourself a house. And I joke, but it looks like that may be signal move to New York, potentially with his new bride. So we'll see what happens there on that front. And Whittle, that's really all I had this week. I think, right now, also best wishes to Naeem Hines. He's trying to come back after a 2-year absence. Former Bill would like to see, that poor guy just had so many unfortunate things happen to him.
Yeah.
Of course, known for those 2 kickoff returns against New England. Like to see him land on his feet somewhere. So wishing our former Bill Naeem Hines all the best on his comeback attempt. So, and that's
Hey,
really.
listen, we may have a running back spot open. Things don't go, the way they're supposed to go at the
Oh
end of this
yeah,
year
yeah, it's
in,
gonna
in the
be. Yep.
negotiation room. So
Hmm. It's good. I'm interested to know what Bean's hard number is. Like, what's his drop dead number in a sense? Like, what's the most I would go for Cook? Because we all know he's got one, but what is that going to be? I, the, I get this feeling we're going to extend James Cook, Willow. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm like, but I say that with not a lot of confidence, but if I had to pick it, I would say we're going to extend them. But I'm like 50, 51-49 on that right now.
Yeah,
What about you?
yeah.
You feeling about the same on
Um,
that, or are you thinking no? He's a goner after this year, or do
we'll
we want to
see.
save that for? We'll save that
Yeah,
for another episode.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I just think
Okay,
everybody should watch Hard Knocks when the Buffalo Bills are featured. Just make sure you watch.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
All
Will,
right, man.
that's all we had. A nice tidy show today. Want to give shout out, of course, the dog. You're great. We always love having you here. Jets commute. Tina, you're great as well. Always good to see you. And everyone else here. Patrick, saw him in here too. Whittle, next week again, we'll start setting up training camp. We'll get into more battles. We'll talk about more coaches, and we'll set you up for what should be an incredible 2025 season. So,
And I'm going to
man,
training camp this year. So
there we go. All right. Oh, you're lucky. So I wish I was going this year, but no can do. But so we'll get some live updates from Whittle there. If you're on Twitter, come join us in the spaces. They're going to start picking up now, I'm sure. I feel like they're starting to. So it's great to see all the gang back in the space today. When I felt like that got me energized for football. I was like, yes, we're
not
so
everybody, but
well. Not everybody was welcome, but the ones that we liked were in there. Let's put it that way. We're not acknowledging a certain dinosaur fan or somebody else. Yeah, certain other fans, but 95% of them we're cool. So
absolutely, absolutely.
that's it, brother.
All right,
So
well, appreciate everybody pulling up, man. Thank you again.
appreciate you.
This has been another episode of Coast to Coast. I'm 102K Beyond 716. We thank you guys as always. Like, follow, and subscribe if you can on YouTube. Whether you do it through do it through the Coast to Coast channel and do it through Do Champions Media. If you do it through Do
Yes.
Champions Media as well, you will get access to other great shows like Third and Manageable with Student Body Right and our guy
Matt.
Matt Diger.
Hmm.
There's a show on Tuesday that features Patrick and Tommy. I can't remember the name of it, so I don't want to
Hmm. I think it's called the
mess it up.
Blueprint, if I remember correctly, but
The
it's an
Blueprint,
excellent
okay.
show. Yeah, it's
And then
excellent. So
there's one more. It's like a there's one more. I'll let me
you
get my
got
ducks in a row and then I'll start pumping everything.
oh no problem.
I'm
We do have Friday Night Lights with Patrick as well. For you gamers,
There we
so he
go.
comes on late, and
Yeah.
for you long and suffering Buffalo Sabre fans like myself, Matt Dygert and I do our hockey hotline for now on Saturdays. More on that soon. We may be moving the date on that
Okay. All right.
coming up, but we'll see. But just
Well, you
keeping
guys talk about the
my friend.
Rangers at all?
Oh, well, they do come up once in a while because
Big
if we
brother.
got to talk about the Sabres that long, it's not good. It's not good for the health. So they're complete
Yeah.
opposite of the Buffalo Bills at this point. So I can rant about them for hours just because they drive me crazy. But we'll leave that
Oh,
alone. But yeah, so we have plenty to offer, and there's going to be more coming down the line from Do Champions as well. So
absolutely.
lots of things exciting coming up down the line.
Last thing, overhead views of the new stadium looks great. Looks great. Did you
Yes.
see it? Looks
Yep,
great.
it does. You know what else kind of
Yeah.
weird? When I saw that today, I actually watched that video. I got a little emotional about the old stadium shutting down, even though it's not the nicest stadium in the world. Yeah, I was thinking about that last game. It's gonna be, it's gonna be a little emotional for us fans. Like, wow, I can't believe this. All these memories at this stadium, all the tailgates, all the games, great moments and stuff. It's gonna be different come next year as fans
I'll
now learn
always
about
remember.
PSLs. Yeah,
Yeah,
what's that?
I'll always remember the playoff game against the Ravens where I was sitting with David
Hmm.
and I was very doubtful on the Buffalo Bills being able to win that game. And
Hmm.
David basically looking at me like he wanted to slap me and said, "Dude, what's wrong with you? Like we're gonna win this game.
Oh man.
What's up with you?" Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Great stuff.
David, if you're out there, you were right. I was wrong.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
endured some very cold games of recent years at that stadium with a lot of
bro,
snow and
sitting on that metal bench. during
Yes.
the snowfall. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not gonna miss that. I'm not gonna miss that
no,
at all.
not
I
good for the
promise.
back at all. Not good for the back
No,
whatsoever. No, definitely
no,
not. So be much more comfortable in the new stadium coming in 2020.
100%.
Yeah, absolute. So that's Whittle. We'll put a bow on it for this week, and I hope
Yes,
everyone
sir.
has a great week. Go Bills. And again, look for us next week as we get closer and closer to the kickoff of the 2025 season.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.